In Tech Watch, Twitter is under fire over its content moderation policies.
A new report finds the company has consistently allowed hateful messages about Vice President Kamala Harris to run rampant on the platform. The nonpartisan research organization Bot Sentinel says the vice president's tweets routinely receive replies which include racist, sexist, and graphic messages threatening her safety. The report reveals the nation's highest-ranking black female official has received more than 4,000 hateful messages that violate Twitter's rules since the start of the new year. CBS News technology reporter Dan Patterson and CBS News technology and politics reporter Musaddiq Bidar co-wrote the article. Dan joins us now here on set. Musaddiq joins us from San Francisco. We welcome you both. I have to say, Dan, congratulations to you both. An incredible article. But tell us about, these tweets specifically and why are they so problematic?
Well, we found that the tweets were racist, sexist, and often menacing, sometimes very violent. Now, this might sound, well, okay, that's kind of life on Twitter. But the question we asked was, why? Why is this life on Twitter? Why is this normal? And we should say that that number, 4,200 tweets, that's a sample of the entire scale. So you can imagine that the actual number is much higher, and the velocity or the volume of that is also much higher. Again, the question is why? These tweets were posted routinely and seem to stay up with no reason.
Right, but Dan and Musaddiq, I want to bring you in here. You say that that's just life on Twitter, but I thought Twitter was trying to make an effort to control the sort of violent, rhetoric online. And Twitter did acknowledge, Musaddiq, didn't they, that they made mistakes? What was the explanation when you spoke to Twitter? And what took Twitter so long to address and remove this hateful content? Did it only happen once this report came out and it was flagged?
Yeah, they told us that they thoroughly investigated this report from Bot Sentinel and took action in line with their policies on a lot of the tweets. But they did acknowledge that they made mistakes and some tweets fell through the cracks. A spokesperson for Twitter told us that they initially reviewed 10 tweets before this Bot Sentinel report came out, and they found that there was nothing wrong with those 10 tweets. And according to Bot Sentinel, they included racist, sexist messages, including one that threatened the safety of Vice President Harris. Twitter said that after Bot Sentinel's report came out, they went back and looked at those tweets a second time and realized that actually they should have been taken down, and then afterwards did take them down. But it took a while for that to happen. And look, it can be challenging to moderate content when you're dealing with millions of tweets. And in a lot of situations, it can be easier for Twitter to take them down if the person impacted by it is the one doing the reporting. In this case, it was Bot Sentinel that was flagging the tweets for Twitter. Previously, a group of black women who were seeing these tweets were sharing it with Twitter, asking them to take it down. But we don't know if Vice President Harris's office actually flagged these tweets for Twitter. We reached out to the vice president's office. They declined to comment for the story. And so that's part of the explanation here also, is if the individual impacted is the one reporting it, it can make the process a lot faster for Twitter to take these tweets down.
But look, I mean, there's certain language that is inappropriate. Right. It is, in effect, racist, sexist.
That you think would be
there
flagged
are words
immediately.
you can do. I mean, don't you have a search engine? I mean, Dan, don't you just search for these words? Don't you just search for even phrases that might, elicit this kind of messaging? I don't understand how you miss it. How can you pick up some and not others?
Well, as Musaddiq said, we did speak to Twitter, and they acknowledged that their content moderation policies, including the methods by which you can report tweets that could be problematic, had some flaws. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to the scale of these platforms, all of these tech companies, Facebook, TikTok, and others, all rely on this combination of artificial intelligence and human moderators in order to take down content.
But I thought there were certain words, like the N-word, I believe, was one of the words that was used that was flagged in this report. Doesn't that automatically flag someone?
That's my point.
You'd think.
It doesn't.
Right, but what's the point of just picking up some What's the point of picking up some words and not others?
Yeah.
And I think, Musadik, we talked about what content moderation at Twitter might look like under Elon Musk in the past. And this is this an example of what we're in for if he, in fact, closes the deal?
Potentially, and that's something that human rights experts, online policy experts have warned to us. They say that when they look at what Elon Musk has been telegraphing on Twitter with his tweets, that he wants freedom of speech, and the experts tell us that those views are just contradicting with content moderation because it means hateful messages and sexist messages get to stay up on the platform. And what kind of impact does that have? That impacts minorities, it impacts women and women of color in particular, because we know women are 3 times more likely to be harassed on social media, and women of color in particular, Black women, are 8 times more likely to be harassed on social media. And so when you have Elon Musk saying that everybody should be able to say what they want, like, that's great. Yeah, freedom of speech is great, but we don't go into a movie theater and yell out fire. Like, you'll get kicked out for that. And in this instance, yes, anybody can easily search for these tweets and they pop up. In fact, a lot of them as of this morning are still up. But the argument that Twitter and some other of these social media platforms make is that if a tweet's not getting a lot of traction, it's not likely that it'll get taken down. And a lot of them come from accounts that have hundreds of thousands of followers, but others come from accounts that have very few followers, and you can't tell if they've been shared widely or if they've been seen widely. But it's also hard to tell if they're from real people or from bot accounts.
It's interesting, though, that it has to be flagged by someone else or by the recipient. That's what I don't understand.
And the other thing is, the impact of this kind of discourse. And I don't even know it's discourse, but it is damaging. Dan Patterson, we thank you.
Yeah, and Musadik Badar, congratulations. Great reporting, guys. Really, thanks so much.
Thank you.